How to improve writing skills? Who would actually want to improve writing skills? I believe this is the question that some of you might have it in your minds. The question is relevant, but you have to understand writing is claimed to be the crucial and equally balanced compared to verbal communication. We have been writing from our school days to, as a matter of fact, some of you might be even writing notes for this video. But you need to understand that effective writing is going to help you communicate your thoughts even more effectively to your readers. So in this video, we are going to discuss about the top methods by which you can improve your writing skills, and will also make you all clear the importance of writing in your career. So without any further ado, I am Edwin Thomas, and let's get started with the course on how to improve your writing skills. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I want to request you to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss out any new updates or video releases from Great Learning. If you enjoy this video, show us some love and like this video. Knowledge increases by sharing, so make sure you share this video with your friends and colleagues. Make sure to comment on the video for any queries or suggestions, and I will respond to your comments. So now let's talk about the topics that we are going to cover today. So starting off with, we have what are writing skills. So under this topic, we'll understand what exactly is a writing skill and what does it mean to a person. Then we'll go ahead with the topic, that is why are writing skills so critical. So under this topic, we'll understand the importance of writing skills, and we'll understand what are the reasons that you have to improve your writing skills. So in that topic, we'll be clearing all those concerns. Next, we'll be understanding different writing styles. So basically, this is an academic point of view. We'll be discussing the four different styles of writing, that will be basically narrative, descriptive, and the furthermore. So we'll be discussing all the four different styles of writing in this part. And then moving on to the next topic, that is methods to improve writing skills. So that is the key important part of the video that you all are waiting for. So we'll be discussing the top 10 methods to improve your writing skills. So we'll be telling you how to improve it, and you need to understand what all goes into improving each one of these methods. Okay. So then we'll understand the do's and don'ts. So basically under the do's and don'ts, we have subcategorized into three, wherein we'll be discussing the do's and don'ts of creative writing, business writing, and academic writing. So at the start, we'll be giving a small understanding of what these three writings are and where are these applicable, and then we'll understand what are the do's and don'ts of these three different types of writing. So that's how the structure of agenda is. What are writing skills? Now let me ask you to answer this question. I am pretty much sure that there are gonna be a lot more of answers, but let's go ahead and understand what are writing skills. So, writing is a skill of conveying one's ideas, thoughts, and feelings. Now, all the information and the talents related to expressing yourselves through a written word are included in writing skills. So, that's a small conceptual explanation to what is writing skill. Now let's talk about the pro writers or the excellent writers. So these kind of writers can adjust their tones and word choices. For this, they use advanced literary tools and strategies that actually let them to fit different situations and personality. Now, that's how you sum up what is writing skills. So now you have got an understanding, a normal understanding of what writing skills are, and you have also understand what is it to excellent and pro writers. So that's what is writing skill to sum it up. So now that you have come to know what writing skills are, let's move to the next topic, where we'll be discussing why are writing skills so critical. So look at the lady in the sticker. She says attention please. So let's focus our attention to the 4 points that is mentioned over here. So why are writing skills critical? The first point says communicating effectively. Now, communicating without any repercussions is a clear and crisp communication.
A communication need not always be oral or verbal. It can be written too. Now, for example, consider yourself for being a writer in a very famous news magazine. So here you are requested to write an article on global warming, and you have to write that how is it going to affect the people and how is it going to affect the nature. Now consider another example. You are the manager of a company and you're going to address your subordinates with an email. So you're going to write what are the company's goals, what are the few growth structure that the companies are planning, what are its key performance indicators that need to be taken care. So these are the situations where writing skills are going to be crucial, because in the case of the writer, so the writer is going to write about the global warming. Whatever words, the choice of words is going to use, the impact that is going to create in the reader's eyes is what is the ability of writing skills. And for example, the case of the manager addressing his subordinates, it is his words that is going to impact his subordinates in understanding what are the company's goals and what are the company's important tasks that need to be taken care for the smooth running of the company. So that's how writing skill is actually very, very effective in communicating. Now, coming to the second point, that is shows your professionalism and confidence. So, if you possess an effective writing skill, your messages can be understood by your colleagues in a better way. Now, writing clear messages makes it easier for them to understand your ideas and thoughts. Now, coming to the confidence part of it, every content has a motive behind it. For example, a well written business proposal is definitely going to catch the eyes of the investor. A well structured, clear to email is going to impress a possible buyer. And now, if you're working, a well crafted email about the report or a weekly report or a monthly report to your manager is definitely going to amaze your manager. So, this is how you use your writing skills to show your professionalism and confidence. Now, coming to the third point, that is proving your ability at workplace. Now, writing an email or even a report, or say you're applying for a job or you're writing a cover letter. Believe it or not, people may remember even the smallest grammatical error or a spelling mistake that you have it on your content. Now, these small mistakes that are made by you actually make you seem less capable at workplace. And this is the exact reason why writing skill is an asset and which helps you prove your ability at your workplace. So now coming to the last point, that is makes you a better leader. Now, as you move up in the corporate ladder, you need to understand the fact that your writing skill is going to be even more crucial. The small details like the choice of words used, the tone of words used is actually going to have a great impact on the way your subordinates or your customers are going to feel about you. Now, writing can be used as a powerful tool to build trust and show empathy. And this tool can be used as an advantage to you to become an effective leader. Now, these are the reasons that writing skills are very critical, and I am pretty much sure that you are convinced enough to improve your writing skills. All right, so now let's move ahead and understand the different writing styles. So, according to an academic point of view, the writing styles are divided into four. One is narrative writing, descriptive writing, persuasive writing, and expository writing. Okay. So, while talking about narrative writing, in this style of writing, there are three parts: a clear start, an interval, and an end to it. So basically, these kind of writing is used in novels or short stories, and that's the genre wherein the narrative writing is used. Now, coming to descriptive writing primarily focuses on the details like a group of characters or a setting or even an event. So it is primarily used in a personal journals or or writing diaries, etc. Now, coming to persuasive writing. So in persuasive writing, it is a style that is actually used to actually convince the reader. So, for example, if you have a business proposal, you're going to write that these are the business goals that you're going to achieve. This is the growth that you're going to get. What is the revenue that will be getting after these business goals have been achieved? So, this is a way that you may try to convince the reader whom you're pitching the business idea to. So another example is cover letters. In cover letters, you basically tell how much hardworking, what are the different projects that you worked on, how much skills do you have in this particular niche. So this way you are trying to grab the attention of the employer so that he would be actually interested in hiring you, right? So that's where you use persuasive writing to convince the reader. Now, coming to expository writing. Expository writing, the writing style is based on facts and it does not account the opinion of the writer. So basically, a writer would be writing about the facts that was observed from any experiment or something like that. So, for example, newsletters. Newsletters is something wherein the opinion doesn't matter, but it's actually reporting facts. If any accident occurs in particular area, it's actually based on the fact. So even when it comes to scientific writing or research paper, it's all about the experiments or the research that was done on the particular experiment, and that goes into the writing. So there's where expository writing comes into play. So now that you understood the four different types of writing, this is basically to make you understand the theoretical or the academic point of view. Okay, now we'll go ahead and understand the different methods to improve writing. So that we'll be discussing in the next topic. So now we have reached the part which you guys have been keenly waiting for, wherein we'll be discussing the methods to improve writing skills. So first up we have a clear idea or think before you write. Now there is a famous quote by Sir Albert Einstein which goes by, if you can't explain it to a 6-year-old child, you don't understand it yourself. Now, what the statement actually means is if you have a concept or a writing that is not understandable by a 6-year-old child, there will be a lot more people which will find it difficult to be understood. So, before you start writing, have a proper plan and structure of what you're going to write. Make sure that your writing is actually approaching to the specific results. So this is how having a clear idea and thinking before what you write is going to actually help you improve your writing skill. Now coming to the second point. So now that you have structured and mentally prepared that what you are going to write, and when you actually start off writing, you just have to keep it as simple as possible. So that is one thing that you need to understand, that you just have to provide the readers with enough information to communicate your thoughts. So for that to happen, you have to actually look into your piece of writing and ask yourself whether these words or sentences are actually required. If not required, they might be actually over explaining things to the readers. So you need to rephrase these sentences in a beautiful way, which might actually tempt the readers to read and understand how beautiful your language is. So that's how you have to avoid over explaining things to the readers. Now, coming to the third point, that is understanding your audience. Now, while writing, you need to picture your audience and you need to understand who are the people whom you're going to impact. So, in order to do that, you must put yourself in the reader's shoe. You need to figure out that you have enough written content for them to understand. So, this can be done by actually anticipating the questions that may arise in the reader's mind and answering them. So, this way, by understanding your audience, you could actually improve your writing. So, next up, we have keep it as simple as possible. Now, while always writing, you need to keep your sentences short and concise, which would actually keep the reader's attention. Now, as a writer, you need to communicate your thoughts and points fluently and naturally by keeping things simple. And that's how you improve your writing. Now, coming to the fifth point, that is scrutinize the use of filler words. Now, if you look into your previous writings, some words always keep popping into your sentences on your writing. Now, these words are called as filler words. So, these filler words may have some meaning to it, but it does not make a big difference in your writing. So examples of filler words are like very, really, extremely. So these kinds of words could actually be removed or replaced with other beautiful words. So to back up with the fifth point, I have the sixth point wherein we have a good use of good choice of words. So an example to it is the fifth point. Here, I've used the word scrutinize the use of filler words. So, scrutinize is the word that I've used to emphasize the point more. Instead of scrutinize, I could have used the word reduce, but reduce is now overused. So, I thought that you guys will just take it casually. So, when I use the word scrutinize, you guys got more attention to it. So, that's how you use good choice of words to grab the reader's attention. Now, coming to the choice of words, there is three category of words. Words that everybody knows, words that you should know, and words that nobody knows. Forget about the third category. Now, people actually tend to add adverbs to weak words. Let me take an example. We're using a sentence. Okay, so this place is very beautiful. The very beautiful term could be actually replaced with this place is aesthetic. See, aesthetic is a good choice of words that you could have used. Now, another example. Ram is very funny or Ram is extremely funny. These sentences can be actually replaced by Ram is hilarious. So hilarious is a good choice of words that you could have used. So the choice of word actually tells you how good your writer are, and it also puts an impression on the readers. The author has a very good choice of words. Now, coming to the next point, that is, do not use contractions. So tell me, do you know the meaning of what is contractions? As a matter of fact, I have actually avoided the use of contraction in the seventh point itself. So now you guys can guess actually. If you can't guess it, no problem. I'm here. In the seventh point, if you see, I've used do not instead of don't. Now I feel that you understood what is contractions. In the same way, in your writing, you might have a tendency to use I apostrophe M instead of I am, or I apostrophe LL instead of I will. So these are contractions. Actually, avoiding contractions is really helpful in improving your writing because Indian English does not actually promote the use of contractions. And if you start avoiding contractions in your writing, it makes your language or writing more stiff and formal. So that's how you avoid contraction and improve your writing. Now, coming to the eighth point, that is transcribe yourself. Try recording yourself while having a conversation with someone else and then transcribe your recording. You will learn a lot of things of conversational writing through this trick. This activity of transcribing will let you know what to do and what not to do, and thereby improving your writing skills. Now, coming to the ninth point, that is put your personality into writing. Fearless writing is great writing. Write the way you speak. Be honest and authentic. Use the phrases and slangs that you normally use. Now, at the end of the day, the reader must have the sense of the personality of the author through your books, and that's how you improve your writing. Now, coming to the last point, that is read it out loud. Whatever you have written is a very good practice because it lets you understand whether your writing has a good flow. Now, while reading, if you are stumbling in any part, you need to understand that even your readers will find something difficult. So that sentence requires a rewriting. Now, while reading, if you feel that it's something like chopped off or clipped out, you need to understand that you can actually add a few more longer sentences to make the flow steady. My personal recommendation to all of you is that read whatever you have written because it lets you know what is going good and what is not going good. So one thing that I want to tell you all is that, but I haven't put it up in the points is, but I have also put it in the blue color, that is practice and practice. Now practice is what is going to make you closer and closer to perfection. Now, understand your mistakes, understand your weaknesses, and try to avoid these while you start writing. So, more you write, edit, and proofread, the more you're going to get better at it. So, to all the writers down there, check box all these 10 points that I have mentioned in your writing, and I'm 100% sure that your writing is going to be excellent. All right, guys. So now that you have come to the last part of the discussion, where we'll be discussing about the do's and don'ts of writing. In particularly, we'll be discussing three different types of writing, that is creative writing, academic writing, and business writing. Now, to start off with, we'll go ahead with creative writing. Now, creative writing is a unique way of writing which consists of the writer's personal thoughts. Here, the writer is given the freedom to use any type of writing style. So here, first we'll go with the do's of creative writing. So in the do's, the first point that's mentioned is getting inspired. So a creative writer must always get inspired by the things that is happening in his surroundings. So he could actually get inspired from even small things like trees, plants, or a kid, or even an animal. So a creative writer must absorb all these things and understand the in-depth meaning of what and all is happening in his surroundings. Now, try to follow a particular theme. So, a creative writer must always follow a particular theme and should not get departed in different themes in capturing good content. So, you should always follow a particular theme and stick to it. So, the choice of that particular theme is always going to the writer. Now, write whatever comes out of your personal thought. So this is the key part of creative writing, that you could actually write whatever is coming out from your personal thoughts. So you could actually add your emotions to your writing. You could actually, even if you're having a conversation with your friend, if he has the thoughts of some creative writing, you could actually put his thoughts, and also you could give credits to him for the story or behind that. So this is how the magic of creative writing actually pops up. So always write whatever comes in your personal thought. Now, coming to the don'ts part of it. So, what are the actual don'ts of creative writing? So, do not assume it to be easy. Now, while we were talking about do's, you might have felt that, oh, come on, this creative writing is very easy. I just have to take a pen and paper and just think whatever I have to write, whatever comes into my thought. But the problem here is that procrastination. Now, if you don't have a self check or a recorded track record or a self check, or even you can say a plan or a schedule of how many pages you are going to write today, the book is never going to end. So you always need to have a proper plan and schedule for writing anything. And if you are planning to write 100 pages of book, you must understand how many pages you have to complete within a week or within a day. So that's how, if you take it for granted, it's not going to be any easy. Okay. So next we have never have a thought that you can't do it. Now, giving up is a killer idea for creative writing. It will kill your enthusiasm to write anything, and you should always push yourself to writing. So you should believe in yourself that you can write, or else the book is never going to complete. Now, if you have the mentality that you can't do it, then it's all gone. The ideas all are going to get killed and the book will never get published. Now, don't be under any pressure. So that's the beauty of creative writing. The writer need not to be in any pressure of following any rules or grammatical errors. So he has the freedom to write anything that comes into his thoughts. So the creative writers have the absolute freedom to whatever comes to his thoughts. So now that's the don'ts. So these points should be kept in mind, that so that you could actually improve your creative writing. Now, coming to the next style of writing, that is business writing. So basically, what business writing is like emails or a report that is to be drafted to your manager. So these kinds of things are basically include what is business writing. So it is very prevalent in the corporate world, wherein you'll have to send a ton loads of emails and reports on what is the growth structure, what is the haptic feedback of the programs or campaigns that was led in the last week. So these are the kinds of business writings that always comes up. Now, what are the do's and don'ts of it? Coming to the do's, be clear and concise. So you need to understand that in corporate world there is not only one thing that is happening. There are simultaneous things that is going to happening in time. So you need to be always clear and concise. So always keep your things short, sentences short. Always put the point directly and don't swivel around the point. Always be clear and concise. And if it's big paragraphs that you are going to send on email to make your subordinate understand, always highlight the key points so that you could grab your attention. So by highlighting, like you could just change the color of the font or you could just make it bold. So these are the small things that you could actually take care so that you could grab the attention of your readers. Now, coming to the third point, have a concrete language. So, if your emails or if your report actually has a vague language which is not particularly meaning what you have done, see, that's going to be having an impact on whoever is going to read. You will have a bad feedback on whatever you have presented. So, if you are presenting a report to your manager and if it's not that, if it's using a vague language, he will feel that you are not actually worth of doing this report writing. So, he will feel that you have not completed your work properly. So if you have a concrete language, your manager is going to be really amazed. So always have a concrete language in your business emails or reports. Okay. Now coming to the fourth one, that is adapt your intended audience. So adapt to your intended audience means that there are circumstances where you'll have to write your emails or reports to your upper hierarchy or a lower hierarchy. So the way you write your emails must be different because the tone of words that you use must be different based on the hierarchy. So if you're writing to your upper hierarchy, it's always a requested point of view, always be polite. And if it's on a lower hierarchy, you need to always have a small authority in your words and the choice of words that should be used. So that's the 4 points that comes under the do's point of business writing. Now coming to the don'ts, so always think that you should not write an email like the way you are talking to your friend. So that is going to be really not nice and it will not look good to any manager who is reading your mail. So always have good choice of words, always be clear, precise, and to the point what your manager has to read. And try to keep it simple so that even the manager would not waste his time and figure time in figuring out what your intended point was. Now, do not write essays. So always try to be use bullet points so that the manager need not actually find out what is the indebted point that you are actually trying to convey to him. So if it's bullet points, you just have to write this: these goals were achieved, these were the results. So if you're actually running a YouTube channel, you could say that these were the number of people who subscribed this week, these were the number of organic views, these were the paid promotions. So these is the kind of bullet points that you could actually use in different businesses. So in the same way, you need to resonate into the other businesses. Now, do not exaggerate. So, exaggeration, this is not a movie or a fiction that you need to exaggerate things to your manager. Your manager will understand what is actually, if it's not happening, it's not happening. You don't need to tell that these were the reasons that this not happened and there were some other tons of reasons that this is not happening. You need not exaggerate things because your manager is of very good experience. You just have to be clear and precise to the points that why did this goal not achieved and what are the reasons behind it. You need not exaggerate each and every point that you are going to convey it in your mails to the manager. Now, always remember that you should not use sexist jargon language that would actually create a bad impact on the views of your manager because he might not understand the personality that you are, and if you're using jargon language, he might not understand what you are. If you're using any abbreviation that you commonly use between your friends, and if he is not able to understand what that is, then you will have some problems in your future. So always be clear, precise, and the do's part of it. Always follow the do's part of it. Always have a concrete language, adapt to your audience, highlight your key points, and be clear, concise, and precise to whatever you want to communicate to your subordinates, colleagues, or your manager. So now coming to the third form of writing, that is academic writing. Now, academic writing deals with essay writing, a report on a research on an experiment, or research papers, or journal papers, or these kinds of writings is all what comes under academic writing. Now, coming to the do's point of view. Now, in academic writing, you should always be formal and unbiased. You can't put in your personal opinions or anything that of sort that will add a personal agenda towards it. So you should always be in a formal way and an unbiased way so that people or readers can actually understand both the side of point of view in any circumstances. Now, coming to the second point, that is be clear and precise. Now, as you know, I've already discussed in business writing that you need to be clear and precise on whatever you're going to write. The same goes in academic writing too. You need to be clear on the facts that you're going to provide, and you should be always to the point, to the writing that you're going to be telling. Okay, so now coming to the correct and consistent. So this is where you need, as a writer, you need to do a lot of research on whatever you're going to write. You need to research on things, you need to gather facts, and then when you start off writing, you need to understand whether these are the correct lines that I have to go into my academic writing. And consistency is basically that when you start off writing, and if you are to like in the favor of that, you must always follow it through. So you should always follow through the essay in favor of it. So that is what is consistency. Now there should not be any contradictions in whatever you write the start and or how you end it. Okay, so that's the do's point of view. Now coming to the don'ts point of view, the first point that is mentioned here is do not be personal. So now, as we already discussed in do's, that is should be always formal and unbiased. You can't just put in your personal opinions into academic writing because it is obviously against it. Now coming to long-winded sentences. So there is a myth amongst people that you should use long-winded sentences and actually confuse people. That would actually give an authority to the words that is used. So to be honest, you could just use simple writing, and a good choice of words is actually important. So it not need not be always a long winded sentence that would actually confuse the people to make them feel that the author is really very eminent personality. You need not use a long winded sentence to make them feel that. Now, coming to the last point, that is, do not have an emotive language. So that again comes to the point that be formal and unbiased in your academic writing. So you can't put in or add in your emotions to your writing. You can't put infuse your personality of by adding this emotional language to whatever you're writing academically. So that's the all points that are the do's and don'ts of academic writing. You need to follow all these points when you are going to write a research paper or journal paper or even an essay on any topic. So these are the points that you should always have a checkbox on to improve your academic writing. All right, guys. So if you have reached the summary part of the discussion, congratulations. So now here in summary part, we are going to discuss what were the topics that were discussed in the entire course. Now, so we started off the course with the topic, what are writing skills, where we understood what a writing skill means to a person, and also we understood what it means to a pro writer and an excellent writer. Then next we actually discussed why writing skills are so important, and I actually convinced you guys that why are writing skills so important to you, because it is going to be actually very very effective in your communication and also will help you make you a better leader. Then we actually went to the different styles of writing in an academic point of view, where we discussed the different styles like narrative writing, expository writing, descriptive writing. So these were the topics that were covered under different writing styles. Then we actually came to the most important part of the course, that was the top methods to improve your writing skills, where we discussed 10 methods that helped you in improving your writing skills. And the last point that I discussed in that topic was practice. If you keep on practicing those 10 methods, it is going to make you even more perfect day by day. Then finally, we came to the do's and don'ts of the writing skills, where we exclusively discuss three writing skills, that is, creative writing, business writing, and academic writings. So now, under that topic, we individually discuss the do's and don'ts of each of them. So now that's all from my side, guys. I have done my part of giving you my knowledge about writing skills. Now, thank you for watching this course. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. See you soon with the next one soon.
If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I want to request you to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss out any new updates or video releases from Great Learning. If you enjoy this video, show us some love and like this video. Knowledge increases by sharing, so make sure you share this video with your friends and colleagues. Make sure to comment on the video for any queries or suggestions, and I will respond to your comments.